This is Ion Hong Kong with Key.
And this is Harminder, and we'll be discussing the top news for the week involving Hong Kong and China. And welcome to number 28 of Ion Hong Kong. And big things this week.
All right.
Probably the biggest event in Hong Kong history has finally, almost finally ended this week.
Haven't we all expected that?
Yeah, it's just, it's just, now that it's over, it's like you kind of miss it at the same time. I don't know, I kind of feel like that. Because it's such a big deal of our lives for the past 2 months.
Yeah, it's been like 75 days.
Yeah.
And a lot going on during these 75 days as well. And it's now coming to the end.
Yeah, because every time you turn on the TV, when it concerned news, it was Occupy. When you turned on the radio, Occupy. When it was you're reading the paper, Occupy. Now that it's over, you're kind of like, well, that sucks.
What do you miss the most?
What do I miss the most about Occupy?
Yeah.
I guess I just miss the fact that I miss seeing all those tents, but it's like it felt like at the doorstep of government were the people. And that is the most powerful symbol of the Occupy movement for me.
Okay.
Were the people at the doorstep of government saying you have done wrong. And of course we have a dumb, deaf and blind government that says so. That was their response basically. So what are you going to do about it? Right? We have the PLA. What do you have? Tents?
Yeah, that's all we
Umbrellas?
have.
We got tanks and guns, damn it.
And singing. People like singing in MOC a lot.
Speaking of singing, they're doing a lot of Christmas caroling, I heard, in Causeway Bay.
And Tsim Sha Tsui now.
Okay, in Tsim Sha Tsui. Well, it is the festive season, so why not?
Yeah.
The only thing is that the police are unfurling the yellow banners saying this is an illegal assembly. You may be prosecuted. Disperse now.
Haven't we all heard something like after they coming, the protesters, then they will go to the religion, and then they probably will come to some people, someone else very soon. So, is it about the religion that they are against?
Well, yeah, these days everybody's against Christmas, politically correct crap, right? But I don't think that's the reason. I just think it's they fear that it's really a undercover protest or something.
It also seems that the government are trying to cancel all these festival program, like
cancel the Times Square countdown,
and they also canceled the one in Canton Road in Tsim Sha Tsui as well.
What?
So because but the reason why they say the government said that the reason why they cancel it because some shops complaining that it would be too many people gathering outside the road and they wouldn't go into the mall, so it will affect their business, so they have to close it down.
And that means what? Okay, so they can't make money. We shut down the entire program.
Yeah.
What's wrong with these people?
I have no idea.
People are shopping.
They do.
Gao
Gao.
Okay, everybody is shopping right now in these places. Not by much, but okay. Look, is the government going to do this every time now? We have New Year's canceled. Are they going to cancel Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year? Huh?
Maybe they should also cancel these every year that the Chinese New Year market in every district.
Sure, they cancel that. Cancel Easter. Cancel July 1st. Cancel October 1st. I mean, cancel everything.
Yeah.
Save some money. Be frugal.
But it's quite also funny that the government officials, some of them, they suggested that they should organize some dance party for the young people so that they can,
Yeah, dance your way to happiness.
Yeah.
Why don't they just give them drugs? Seriously. Here, kids, unhappy? Drop some acid.
Well, I don't think they can do that.
I mean,
right?
you know how they're legalizing marijuana in the U.S., right?
Right.
Some people have suggested the reason for that is that people will be so high that they won't give a crap what's happening in the real world, in government, whatever, then they can just rape, pillage and steal as much as they want. Everybody's like, oh, I don't care, man. Take a hit of this. All right. That's that. So legalize drugs here. Boom. Problem solved.
If they really legalize it.
I'm being pragmatic.
Very pragmatic.
Yes.
Very soon. Well, you can be the lobbyist.
Sure. I want to look. CY Leung, your best policy right now could be legalizing all drugs. And they used to be legal, and actually drug use was down statistically because it was considered to be a loser thing to do. But let's I digress.
It was considered as the rich people thing.
No, it was very, very. It's like if somebody who was hooked on opium, like laudanum is what they used to call it. You could get it from the pharmacist, and people would be like, "Ugh, what a loser."
We don't talk about opium in Hong Kong. Too sensitive.
All
Some
right.
people get hurt.
Liquid cocaine. No, they didn't have liquid cocaine back then. It wasn't heroin back then. It was still cocaine. But it was like normal. I mean, what's Coca-Cola? Coca? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what's the secret ingredients? Decaffeinated cocaine.
I don't want to be
It used to be real cocaine. Well, anyways, that's not what we're discussing.
Right. So
I'm going to do a rail right here.
Back to the MOT,
right.
the clearance of at MOT.
The good news, I would say, is that it went off without any violence.
True.
That's the good news. Nobody's bashed in the head.
It seems that the police quite well behaved as well.
Yeah, a lot of observers were there as well. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but even if they didn't, I don't think they would care. They would just say, well, we use minimal force. We use minimal force, right? Oh, he's dead. That was minimal force.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Yeah, if you're into that thing. So they moved all the occupiers away. A lot of politicians showed up that day.
And
the first time I've seen so many at the Occupy at one time since I think the first day when they launched tear gas.
So is it a criticism or?
Not really, because I've seen a lot of them come. I mean, everybody has their role in it.
Sure.
Just because they weren't there 24/7 doesn't mean they weren't there. Give me a break, right? They have other things to do as well. I understand that. Even I wasn't there all day, every day, right? I've been there a couple of times, right? So I don't. No criticism. But some people have saying, "Oh, look at them trying to steal the spotlight." No, they did what they promised they were going to do: get arrested at the end of the Occupy movement.
I think after the one of the student leader got released from the police station, and he made the comment saying that some people, they actually not occupying until the end; they occupy at the end.
Well, again, it depends on who it was. I saw Claudia Mo and Fernando Chung, Albert Chan, Ray Chan. I mean, these people I kept seeing constantly in either Mongkok or Admiralty.
Even Audrey Yu.
Jimmy Lai.
Jimmy Lai.
Yeah.
Jimmy Lai actually occupied in MOT very often.
Pretty much every day almost, during the day.
So too,
During the day, yeah. He was there.
Yeah.
Martin Lee, I can understand. He's older, so I don't expect him to be there every time. Plus, he was defending a lot of some of the people in court that had to do with Occupy. So
what about the another Albert Chan? The pandemic.
Who else was there? Are you saying?
Albert Chan was there, right?
Yes.
Okay, and
well, I came out of the prison, so I'm at prison. I'm sorry, police station.
Police station.
So I'm assuming he was arrested for that reason.
Albert Ho.
Albert Ho and Emily Lau and
Emily Lau. And have you seen them quite often in the occupied area?
Earlier, when it started, yes.
They were arrested because the police tried to stop them to transport the
equipment, the audio equipment. They wanted to bring it on the stage. Police stopped them. They said, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And they got arrested for that.
Yeah. And then after that, it seems that we don't really see them in the occupied area.
Oh, I see a lot of photos of them posting on their Facebook when they were interviewed in the area.
You mean Albert Ho and Emily Lau?
Or Emily Lau.
Okay.
But I don't know. But I'm just saying that people are criticizing them some, not a whole lot. I saw EJ Insight actually have an article up about that, and I don't think it's warranted. I don't think it matters at this point.
True.
Who cares?
But don't you know that Emily Lau has this nickname called "Sleeping on the Street" Heng, because her name is Heng. So it seems that she no longer sleeping on the street now.
Well, you know what? Emily Lau has been called a lot of things. So has Albert Ho since 2011, I think.
Yeah.
So let's not get into that. Hopefully we can get on the show someday.
Hope so too.
But the real question is what now? Oh, right. They're going to clear Causeway Bay next week. Okay. Once that's done, I'm sorry, but that's a non-issue. Causeway Bay was a non-issue. You're just inconveniencing people because you blocked the tram line for that long. And I've said this before. They should have given up Causeway Bay a long time ago as a good gesture to the people of Hong Kong.
I mean, if we have an award for the private company during this umbrella revolution, I would give it to the tram company because they're very tolerant.
Very. And they have trams that desperately need maintenance, and it can only be done on the Whitty Street depot.
Yeah.
And they can't get their trams across.
Their French CEO, and he went to the Occupy area to talk with the protesters. They seem quite understanding, and then the CEO said to one of the protesters that it's quite common in France. So
he's probably very used to a lot of unrest.
So this company, we really should support them more.
Yeah, get on the tram. I love the tram. You know,
I
like taking it a lot. Don't support the red minibuses though. But again, what's the question is what is the next step? What now? Now they've said, the students, they're going to take their protest into another level. What that means, we don't know yet. I guess one thing is this shopping tours. Okay, that's one level, sure. We got LegCo covered because the pandems are going to do what they're doing. But how? I did like what Scholarism's Joshua Wong said. We now have to take it to the people because they know they've lost support because of this, and they have to regain it. And like I've said, win the information war first.
Right.
I think that is the right step to do. And when they hold their forums for their BS, consultations and everything, definitely protest those.
But the thing is that it's quite a high-sounding matter to say that, we bring it back to the community. But how? How to do it? Are you going to have these street booths and distributing the leaflets to other people? At the same time, you will see quite a lot of pro-Peking loyalists. They will attack these students. And how would it?
I'm sorry, but that's just free. That's a free society, right? They have the right to protest them as much as we have the right to protest them back. Just something you have to deal with, you know.
Is it one of the ways? Is it only the way to go to have a street booth?
No.
How to bring it back to the communities?
Bring it back to you got to hold forums outside of television cameras, community forums. Have like town hall meetings, you know. They're sitting at the front. People can ask them questions, and you can present your thing or on the screen. And if they have criticism, they have to accept it, and they have to take notes of where they've gone wrong. See, you gotta do mass data analysis. You gotta do a lot of these things to see where is everything going.
I mean, for these mainstream media like CCTVB and ATV, and it seems like quite difficult to get them to support for that, right?
They don't count. Other than City Forum on RDHK and maybe some of the talk shows, the news talk shows, but young people don't watch that. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
But the older people do. So that's good to engage them there. And the radio. Okay? Don't stop that, even though it's mainstream. But also go into the alternative media like
Ion Hong Kong,
Mimi Hong Kong, right? Because this is where the young people are moving to, the internet.
But do you
Facebook.
I think the young people, you still see quite a lot of support from the young people from the survey last time. It seems that the problem is with these older generation, and shouldn't we focus more on them?
Yes, absolutely.
So it would be the traditional way of...
yes, which they like, so that's what you have to do. You got to switch tactics. It can't just be blunt force trauma to the head every time. You know?
Maybe they should make a Chinese opera to sing the...
Fine, if that works, why not? People use
so
art
noisy.
forms. I don't like it because I don't understand it. But I don't like general opera anyways, right? But I'm just saying, if that's something that somebody has a creative mind for, making a Chinese opera based on this situation that we've had in the last couple of months, great.
That's a good idea.
Art form is one of the best ways to get your message across. It's been used throughout history, so why not use it here? And young people are very creative overall, I have noticed, especially since that a lot of people aren't exactly, all money these days. More people are socially conscious and they want to explore their art forms.
Since you mentioned big data and to do this data analysis, it seems that it's also quite successful in Taiwan election because of that. And but the thing is, how do we get hold of all these data from the...
Oh, that's something that people are going to have to figure out. How do they use the resources of the universities and stuff like that? Michael DeGourier, who's a professor here in Hong Kong, he did surveys and analysis and everything. He said we saw the Occupy movement coming, a long time ago, because of based on opinions, based on their analysis and the data and everything. And they told the government, but they said, "Nah, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen."
I think it's one of the things that even for Hong Kong, most Hong Kong people wouldn't expect that people can occupy the area for like 75 days. At the very beginning, I thought that it would. I myself thought that it could only last for like at most a week.
First of all, I thought that if the police hadn't launched their tear gas, this would have been over 30 days most likely. And the police could have come in...
Too long, 30 days, I would say.
Like a maximum, where the police would have come in quietly and just taken them away, say, okay, we're going to arrest you, blah, blah, blah. Everybody, please don't resist. People just sat down and been taken away and chanted their slogans. But the police and the government completely botched everything and made this whole situation worse than it should have been. So that's their own fault. But it's time to take it back to the community. And I don't agree with Chen Xiao-er, who's heads a high-level think tank who studies the city development. He says that it's not small things that are going to fix our issues. It's one big giant medicine that we need, like this one thing that's going to fix everything. No,
What?
It's not. Well, he doesn't have the solution. He says that's what we have to find. I don't agree with him.
I don't know how these people coming up with these illusion, thinking that one medicine can cure everything in this city.
Well, you have to see where they're coming from. They're coming from a one-party system, one way of thinking, one track for all their solutions, right? So they think the same thing is good for us.
Maybe probably it's true that the real solution is that we have to have the real democracy here, and then. It's only a start, I think, actually, because a lot of equality matters here that we have to deal with. Democracy only the first step that we move things forward.
Because if we elect our own CE, okay, we elect our own CE, what's that going to do to the low interest rate environment that we're in? Nothing. We're still going to be crushed by inflation. Our wages still going to be stagnant. And high rents are going to still keep out young entrepreneurs and new entrepreneurs. You attack that... and it's going to hurt for a while, but overall it corrects this in bubbles that we're in right now. And you know what? I don't think people would be complaining as much as they are now.
True, and I think this is definitely not the end of the umbrella revolution.
Oh, absolutely.
It's only really just like the banner said when they take down when they clear the MOC, it is just the beginning. Because a lot of people now, apart from the shopping, I think the shopping protest is probably more like it wouldn't last long.
Oh.
It will end very probably
Yeah,
1 or 2 months, then people will think, oh, it's
something
useless.
new though.
Yeah.
They'll think of something new.
I think people are looking forward.
Like another banner on Lion Rock.
Yeah, today they put it on the Lion Rock and also another mountain as well. So
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
two. One is on Lion Rock and saying that CY Leung step down. Another is I want a real democracy. I think in another mountain today, and these only some small matter. I think.
Yeah,
The big matter is the election in next year.
Sure.
And a lot of netizens they are trying to gather together and they want to run for the election.
District council election.
District council election. And of course, I mean, when they planning to do that, then they're also aiming at the legislative council. I mean, probably they wouldn't get any seats, but it's still a good way to push things forward to get young people to get involved in the politics.
Sure. I think it's time for some of the established legislators to promote younger people within their party.
Are you talking about the some old people dominating the political
Yeah, there are career
party?
politicians in there. Yes, there are, like the Emily Lau, like Albert Ho, and even Albert Chan. I mean, we got some hardcore, and I'm not saying veterans are bad, but I think it's time to promote younger people into into LegCo, because if they're the future, they have to learn now so they can be good later. Because if you just thrust them when they're older or you don't groom them for it,
I think
it
so
leads
too.
for bad things usually, or it just looks silly.
I mean, even for, I think last time in the Legislative Council, there are quite some new faces, like Gary Fan,
Yes.
Ray Chan,
Yes.
and Claudia Mo,
Yes.
but they are actually over 40s already.
Most of them.
And they are considered to be young in the
Sure.
Legislative Council. Probably some people who are really young, like
Yes.
in the early 30s, they should come out
I
from.
think the only guy in his early 30s is sitting in the agriculture and fisheries constituency. I think
Oh, yeah,
so.
yeah, that's him.
I think that's the only young guy there, like I would consider very young.
He's DAB.
Yes, of course. And DAB, it's Merry, MERRY, Christmas, not I want to marry Christmas. Come on, you guys can proofread. I know it's not a requirement to know at least basic English.
You really
but
can't blame them because when you put the word marry in the Word document, it would underline you.
just because the spell check doesn't say it's wrong,
Exactly.
doesn't mean it's not wrong. So I don't agree with Chen Chao-er. And I also don't agree with them and the damn state newspapers calling this a color revolution. It was not. If it was a color revolution, it would have been a lot more bloody than it was.
True.
Okay? If you thought it was going to be a velvet revolution, well, you need the police on your side for that. And the police were certainly not on the protester side,
True.
as we've seen many times. So there was no color revolution. It was a movement, and that's what we're going to stick to. You can call whatever you want. You can pander to your base. You can pander to the lowest common denominator who can't, find their butt with both hands unless the government told them where it is. But it wasn't a revolution. It was a movement. And you can't just skew the facts like that. So the government needs to take heed and figure out a way to solve all these issues. The problem is CY Leung has been pretty much, persona non grata for the last, little while, plus during the entire umbrella movement. He just doesn't matter. It's like everybody else has been out there, including...
He matters a lot because every time he came out to say something that someone would, we found a target now. Like, do you remember that he said something like 14,000 income, then they shouldn't have the right to vote?
Maybe that's why they're
There's
like, don't open your mouth.
Exactly. He matters a lot.
Let Carrie Lam handle that part. Or John Jung.
He unites everybody here. He's the reason why we have an umbrella revolution.
I've said this once and I'll say it again. He runs the city like a corporation. And it doesn't work. Not in this city, at least. And that's his problem. He doesn't listen, from what I've gathered from a lot of people we've talked to off the record. And he likes to hear what he likes to hear. And anything against that, he's just like either it doesn't matter or he brushes it off or says he'll just solve it his way.
And don't forget that he owned a business and that business had to go liquidated.
It was liquidated. But that's a whole different issue. But the issue is that China now might think, oh, we need to have a harder stance. No, you don't. That's only going to backfire on you. You've already created a whole generation that hates you. So now you have to find a way for them to at least respect you. But it's mutual. Respect is earned, not given.
It seems that they don't think so. They think that
they
if
think
they have the
given.
power, then you have to respect the power.
No, I don't.
No, we don't.
Yeah. If anything, I mean, like I've said before, government is a necessary evil. But it is evil. And it must be kept in check. All governments, I don't care what what country it is. All government is evil, but it's a necessary evil. Some might say that get rid of it altogether. I'm sorry, anarchy doesn't work either.
It seems that is also the problem between the older generation and the younger generation of understanding what the government is now. It seems that the older people, they do think that
and religious
and if it's a government then or the police, then you have to respect them anyway because they are the government and only because they are the police. The young people nowadays, it seems that they don't see things like that.
I remember speaking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about government, and he said, we think government is like mother.
Huh?
Yeah. And it takes care of us. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. Government is one of the most... What has killed more people in the 20th century? This was a University of Hawaii study. Government. It's called democide. They've killed over 200 million people, non-military related deaths. Nothing has killed more in the 20th century than government.
That's why we have to always criticize the government.
Absolutely.
That's one of the citizen responsibility to do so.
Absolutely. Let's quickly move on to China, mainland China. I found this massive Bloomberg article about how Walmart China actually, their business was awful, but their books were cooked to make it look good. But the thing is, forget that. The thing is, this is endemic with the entire Chinese economy. Cooked books, fake numbers.
I mean, for these, Walmart quite big, right?
Walmart's the biggest retailer in the world.
And even it's quite big in China.
Yeah.
If they are doing that, I couldn't imagine the other small company, what are they doing?
They're doing exactly. It's, how many have been caught with scandals and embezzlement, all this stuff? I mean, that's why now they're saying that 7% growth is the new normal. Where before it was 10, 12, 15,
right.
That's the normal. Now it's down to 7. 7 for a 1.4 billion person country, that's not that impressive anymore. But now they're saying that's the new normal. They want people to get used to it. And when people don't get used to it, they get angry. And when they get angry, they want to change. And why is Xi Jinping consolidating power? Pledging military loyalty to hit the party and all that stuff? Because they know it's hitting the fan.
Then I look forward to that day.
But of course, people here are going to say, "Well, I thought China was the end all be all." Well, the thing is, it's a whole global economy that's going to come crashing down. We're not going to be immune to it. It's just that China will not be the only country that'll be like on top or anything like that. But we'll see what happens. And finally, we have China commemorating the Nanking, whatever you want to call it, massacre. It happened. It's real. And no matter how much Japan wants to whitewash it, but why won't China also commemorate the deaths of the Great Leap Forward, the Cultural Revolution, and Tiananmen Square crackdown? Where are the memorials for that? Why is there revisionist history of that? When you read about the Cultural Revolution or the Great Leap Forward, it was just like, oops, it was a little mistake we made. Yeah, I don't think 60-80 million dead in the first Great Leap Forward is a little mistake. That's why people were fleeing to Hong Kong. Okay? And of course, suddenly people have amnesia like that. Oh, that was the party of then. This is the party of now. It's all changed. Yes, Deng Xiaoping made it better. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you cannot say it never happened or it didn't matter. That's huge.
It seems that they only using that every time when they have something internal problem, then they will
Saber rattle.
push Japan out.
Yeah.
And say attack them.
Yeah, exactly. It's just to distract. Again, it's that when you have problems in your economy, country, whatever, you distract people. Distract them with a war with Japan. Distract them with nationalism.
But it's almost like 100 years ago.
Doesn't matter.
Can they find something new?
No. So, they need to commemorate that if they're going to commemorate this. You know what I mean? You can't have it both ways. Anyways, we'll be back in the second half with our interview with legislator Albert Chan. We'll have him on the line. We'll discuss the clearance of Admiralty and all things involving Hong Kong. So stay tuned for that.